Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing a psychic reading on one of my favorite artists, even though he is younger, is Troye Sivan. I love his music and his album, and this has been requested by many of you out there. So for those of you that are not aware of who Troye Sivan is or haven't listened to his work, he is a YouTuber. He used to do YouTube on a greater scale than now. He's also a singer and songwriter, and he is from Australia originally, but now he's living or residing here in the U.S. for his work, etc. So he's very talented. Very, going through inventions. He is gay. So for those of you that are wondering, about his sexuality or would even, want to know, he is. And I'll be covering all of this in the video, giving you insight on what I see for him coming in 2019 and beyond, whatever is coming through from spirit. He's a very special soul. I do feel like he has a deep understanding of humanity and people immediately. That's what I needed to say. Very much like Lord, when I did her reading, I feel like Troye is the same way. And I get that he is very sensitive, and he's more of a clairsentient, where he would feel people like an empath. He would feel energies from people and know things, as well about them, like how their intentions are, what is going on. Very sensitive soul. So when he's criticized and stuff, he's built a thick skin, and he's like 23 years old or so, but he's very much someone who I feel like, a lot of this hurts, a lot of the things that are said about him. So he tries to kind of keep his private life, a little bit more private, because I feel like when he first started off as a YouTuber, and he had millions of fans now, his relationship with his previous partner were really scrutinized, and I feel like there was just a lot of heat on him and his partner, and so that kind of created a wedge in some ways. However, I feel like he is finding himself in many ways, and he is exploring new facets of himself and who he is as a person, and this is coming out in his videos, in his style, in the way that he sees things. He reminds me a lot of Sam Smith as well, because I feel like when it comes into his sexuality, he is very confident with who he is, but I feel like he's going through an exploration, so to speak, and so I wouldn't be surprised if at some point he would kind of do more of like drag or bending genders in some kind of way. And what I mean by that, bending genders, I mean like kind of how do I explain this, tapping into his femininity, and that's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's almost like androgynous, I guess people would say, but I feel like he's definitely going to kind of explore that, and he has already in some of his music videos. You'll see him with makeup or with flowers and things like that. But this is just, who he is. He's very in tune and authentic with who he is as a person. And so he is very, I guess I want to say like non-gender binary. He could fall in both categories. Like he is very, much open to basically anything, with when it comes to his sexuality and who he is and exploring. Like I don't feel like he's very afraid of, getting to know people, getting to know himself better. This has been quite a journey for him. So, but there is, a piece of him that is kind of broken. I don't know, his relationship with his family is entirely, the best. I'm pretty sure that it's pretty good, because I do feel like he came from a family that supports him, obviously, but there's always one or two people in the family that may not be supportive, etc. So there are things that he is going through right now. Right now with his career, there's going to be a lot of hard work. I see him continuously doing well in his projects and working very hard as always. However, I feel like there is something coming up, and this will be like a big issue, whether it makes tabloids or not. But this is going to be within his career and his management and his record company that he's with. There could be some tug of war here between what they want him to do versus what he feels comfortable with, and also money wise. We're talking about money. When it comes into his family life, himself, like, I feel like he's very focused on having a family. He wants kids eventually, even though that may not be something that he really thinks about a lot now because he is young. But eventually, I feel like he does want his own kids, and he wants the perfect partner, and to have a home, and just enjoy life to the fullest. Because I don't see Troye doing music like forever ever. He will be doing music, but then he will have like a moment where he kind of goes away to just live life and really enjoy it. Because as much as he enjoys all the perks of fame and all the stuff that he has around him, I feel like he's still very grounded, and he owes that a lot to his mom and to the people that he is one of the artists that I feel like actually has good people around him. Not all of them, but some of the key figures that are in his team are good, but there are going to be conflicts with the higher ups that are more in control with like the musical and contractual obligations that he may have. So I see a lot of that. I also feel like he is getting more into, for someone so young, his spirituality, and he's developing that, and he wants to offer to his boyfriend or his partner, whoever he's dating right now, he wants to offer that guy more of a commitment of himself. But I feel like his partner is kind of like in his own modeling career. He is how should I say this? I feel like he has issues that could be very kind of like codependent in some ways on Troye, and it could kind of like hamper Troye's sense of well-being, and the happy Troye that we see sometimes on TV during interviews, or when he does his music videos or behind the scenes shots and stuff. It's very different. I also feel like this is a fast world that he lives in, so he could also be surrounded by people that are like peer pressure, and even though he has good people, at certain times he's around friends or people that may be into substances and things of that nature. So he needs to be very careful, because there is an addiction or some kind of bad behavior that he can easily adopt, and it's going to be something that kind of haunts him in the future. So I don't know, I feel like there's experimentation, there's things, and this is kind of common with young artists and young women and men who are in the industry right now. They may smoke pot or do something like that. So that's what I'm kind of alluding towards, and I feel like he's just starting off, but there could be some other temptations that are beyond that are dangerous, and really needs to just kind of pay attention to that and not feel peer pressured, and most of all walk away from anyone who is putting pressure on him to do that. I do feel and do see that eventually Troye will be going through heartbreak, and it could be that his boyfriend ends up cheating on him, and he finds out with someone else. And so again, this is not his final partner. This is not the person that he eventually will spend the rest of his life with. I do feel like he's still, within the next 4 to 5 years, even maybe 6 to 8 years, he will still be going through relationships and kind of finding himself and really identifying, with who he really is and what he wants. And he is going to have a strong female who is older, much older than him. This could be his mom or someone in the industry that he is kind of, giving him a lot of support and really guiding him towards, his career and every step that he makes. There's also something coming in about making a film. Now, I don't know if this is more future oriented, quite possibly, but it would be about sexuality, and the character would be a gay man, and this could be a role that he is offered and that he actually goes on. Again, this could be like a movie role or like a TV show type of thing, but I see that he definitely will be going into film. He will continue to do modeling as well. I feel like he will have a lot of sponsorships with designers and kind of showcasing their clothing and perfumes, things like that. But at the same time, there is traveling. And so where he ends up living, I feel like it could be even Europe, for some reason, Europe, or even going back to Australia. But there is a strong push eventually to move. And I feel like he's contemplating this. But again, for his career right now, I feel like he is living where he needs to be living. But again, there will come a time where he is kind of like pushed into a direction where he feels that he needs to move on, and he needs to kind of like go back to his roots, and maybe even explore Europe, because I'm getting Europe very strong. There could be a guy over there that he really, hits it off with and really loves, or really develops a bond or a relationship with, and someone that is either European or has European ties. But I see Europe very, very specifically with Troye. And I see like a lot of work over there. Also a lot of offers and stuff that he would be doing in European countries, apart from touring and all this. So, will Troye ever, will he ever, like just completely give up music? I don't see that he would. He'll continue to do it, but like I said, there's going to be some major shifts in what he does. And there could be also, a minor health scare. And I'm not a doctor and I cannot diagnose. But for him, this could be more of like his blood count and his immune system, more of like an immune issue that he is going to kind of, he's so young, but yet I feel like he doesn't take the best care of himself all the time, being on tour, not sleeping enough, kind of not really having time for himself. And when a person is running, sometimes you neglect to do certain things, and people are not going to always, tell you, hey, you need to eat at this if you haven't eaten in an hour. So this could also be like a blood sugar type of thing where he has low blood sugar, but he definitely needs to watch that. I feel like there is going to be a scare that he could have that's like rushing him to the hospital, where he has to, kind of go under observation, but he'll be totally fine. But it's really something really minute where he just, is lacking vitamins or lacking something, that he needs to take care of himself better. And he can be treated. So nothing really scary. But I do see a lot of hard work for him. And his path is a very unique path, because I see him, eventually having even more success than what he has now. And there's something coming from New York where he would be doing something very special in New York. I don't know if this is like making a guest appearance at some theater spot or a venue. But again, New York for some reason comes in very strongly with him. And I feel like, regarding, where he lives now, which is, I believe, Los Angeles, California, New York would be a better spot for him. So again, there could be some transitions where he spends some time in New York and doing some work there for his music career, etc., or going back to Los Angeles. I also feel like there is something about, and I get this intuitively, that there is something about him creating his own kind of business. So this could be a clothing line again, or a shoe line that he is repping, and eventually kind of comes out with his own line, or like a collaboration. But again, there are some major projects in the works for Troye. And there's going to be some scandals, and that's typical of any artist that's out there. But I feel like the scandals around him will be more around his relationship, and also around him switching his style. Like, he's known to have blonde hair. He could definitely go black hair, and kind of shock people. So again, there's something about his image in reinventing himself, changing some things. I do feel like there are some friendships that he does need to cut out, and it's going to be hard because these are core people that maybe he's developed a strong bond. But what Spirit is saying is that these people cannot be trusted. Basically, they will backstab him in a heartbeat. So, And we see it in the industry so much, with so many people out there who have teams of people that are friends or acquaintances, that you cannot just trust just anybody, and even if they are happy and smiling to your face, and they could be the next minute behind your back talking all kinds of crap about you and not really have your best interest at hand. So again, this is what Spirit is saying, that he needs to be careful with that. I also see that there will be some tattoos. So I don't know if Troye has any tattoos, but there will be some works on getting some tattoos established and getting that. And also acquiring property. Again, this is all about having some different, revenues, streams of revenue coming in, and just having a solid foundation for his future, his future. And that is what I see for Troye. So I hope all you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to hit that red subscribe button and that notification bell icon if you haven't already, so you can be subscribed to my channel and be notified at any time that I, put out a new content. If you'd like to set up a private psychic reading, you can visit my website at www.raymondguzman.net/shop, and be sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Psychic Medium Ray. Blessings and love and light. Have an amazing, amazing day or night wherever you are in the world.